I get to actually lead a team of financial services experts whose sole function here is to help our customers, both from the standpoint of fintech startups all the way up to the largest banks, broker-dealers, exchange companies, insurers, use our tools. That's what we do on a daily basis, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. It's really fun to watch. I think the big stories in 2019 are going to probably be a couple things. The first thing I would say is if you look historically back at the last several reInvents, you've seen more financial institutions coming forward and talking about what they're doing in the cloud. I think the reason for that is because you're getting more muscle memory from these organizations. They've had experimentation, they've had some foundations they've been laying over the course of the last couple of years, and now they have confidence. And they have confidence to do two things. Number one, to move much more quickly to embrace these tools and to move more workloads over and to build net new things, but also to talk about it. Because most financial institutions, they don't want to talk about something until they know it well and they know it works for them, and that they've really de-risked it for themselves. And so you saw Goldman Sachs last year, you saw Guardian Life Insurance this year talking about how they've changed a 158-year-old company and how they've made it nimble and agile, and they've actually been able to close data centers. I think you're going to see more of that. And what that means is you're going to see a much more accelerated transformation of the industry itself. I think you're going to see more and more of those organizations coming out and talking about how cloud is a major part of their IT strategy going forward. The second thing I think you're going to see is a much richer ecosystem of ISVs. You can look across what we have today and what's been announced this week. You saw Bloomberg come out talking about BPipe on AWS, Refinitiv a couple of weeks ago was talking about the fact that Electron runs on AWS. We're working very closely with Broadridge, we're working closely with Finacle and Temenos, and a lot of different vendors in the industry, and that's going to continue to happen at a rapid pace. And that reason for that is twofold. Number one, you've got a lot of those customers who are going through massive transformations and they're saying to their ISVs, hey listen, I love the relationship that we have, but I'm moving to the cloud. If we're going to continue to have a relationship, you've got to move to the cloud with me, and those vendors are responding very positively. Or you've got some vendors like IHS Markit, who several years ago said, you know what, the future of financial services is in the cloud. I need to start moving before even my customers are telling me so that I can be ahead of the game. So I think those are two things you're going to see be very, very key themes in 2019. Cloud is really kind of the new normal. If you look across enterprise companies and financial services today, the vast majority are considering cloud as a major part of their IT strategy going forward, and it's just picked up that much momentum. I think we're just scratching the surface, frankly, in cloud for the industry. And Andy, as you mentioned, has said this before. We think there's going to be room for not just one cloud provider, but multiple cloud providers and opportunities for everyone. But I'm very encouraged by how the industry continues to make cloud a major portion of their IT strategy. I think we're at an inflection point. You mentioned security, and security is obviously job number one for financial institutions. We are in the business of managing risk. If you're a financial institution, your job is to manage risk. And all of our customers who have a bit of heritage about them, or a bit of legacy, if you will, are used to managing risk in very specific ways. They have a run book that they've used for years and continue to adapt over time and evolve that continues to serve them well. And if you're a risk or a compliance or an audit professional in a financial institution, change is usually your biggest enemy. You don't want to change anything from what you did the last time you passed an exam or went through an audit. You want to continue to do that because you know it works.
You have your playbook, right?
You have your playbook. But suddenly, your business and your development teams are saying, hey, we have all these new tools we can use, which necessitates a change. And that can be challenging. And so all of our customers want to be agile. From the standpoint of fintech startups, they know they can be agile because of the tool sets that we offer. They've never had to build any other way. They have the ability to immediately start building a brand new company for financial services.
There's no legacy issue.
There's nothing to worry about. They're not encumbered by anything that came before. Our enterprise customers also want that same agility. They want to be able to move their development and production cycles from quarters to weeks or even days. And they're now able to do that. You can look at some of the work that happened early on, I think in Asia specifically. The Asian market was very customer focused first, especially in Australia. You saw that large Australian banks immediately looking in 2012 and 13 even at how do we actually scale our public facing customer interfaces, our websites. And so we saw migrations of that happening very early. So a lot of customer focus early on from our customers in Asia, from the enterprise perspective. If you came over to the US, no surprise, capital markets was an early adopter of the cloud, and it continues to be a driver of the adoption of cloud But now you're seeing large, global, systemically important banks that are making this a major part of their IT strategy going forward. You've got many of them who are embracing, again, that agility. I want to go faster and faster, both from the standpoint of how I can faster use these services, but also faster continue to build products and services for my customers. And that's translating into, I'm going to move 30–40% of my application portfolio to the cloud in the next year to 18 months. So agility continues to be the theme. I think where people start from the standpoint of what their main problems are that they're working on tends to be different. In Australia, it was we're not able to scale our customer-facing websites. In the US, it was I've got so much legacy, I'm not actually in the back and middle office able to develop products as fast as I want because of the dependencies that I have inside. In Europe, it's very similar. You've got legacy technology that tends to encumber a lot of our customers there, and they're looking for ways to get out from under it. Great examples, we just announced this week with Santander that OpenBank, their new digital bank, is running on AWS. It's being built completely on us. So you've got organizations that are looking for agility. They're looking for it for different reasons, and they're trying to solve different business problems, but it's all about being able to be much more nimble and more responsive to the market. We're really focused on right now and going forward into 2019, helping our customers with that change, that organizational change, the evolution of governance frameworks, the evolution of those playbooks from the standpoint of how do you operate with these new tools in this new world. Yeah, we spent a lot of time, I think, as the industry talking about technology and what is technology going to be doing in financial institutions and talking about, from our standpoint, technology runs financial institutions, but that's not true. People run financial institutions and people make those decisions. It's people that actually run financial institutions, and it's going to require those people learning new skills, understanding deeply what the new tool sets are and how they can use them to do the things that they've done in the past, and then do a whole litany of new things and be able to innovate quickly.